Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My husband Nate and I, both 50, have been married 24 years with twin sons, 22. He got into an awful car accident a couple months ago, and though was not seriously injured, he was shaken. He now often talks about how life is fleeting, and we should make sure to be prepared. Nate has two siblings, an older brother and a sister, Tina, 33. Tina is actually Nate's biological daughter. He had her in high school, and his parents adopted her from birth. Her mom was never in the picture. The family all knows about this, including Tina herself. Tina and my family were cordial, but not close. Nate's parents passed within a year of each other, almost a decade ago. They split all they had 3 ways for their 3 kids. 5 years ago, Nate's older brother decided to join a monastery. He left behind all his worldly possessions to Tina and my sons, though my sons mostly got things of sentimental value, while Tina got things of more monetary value. I think my in-laws were all within their rights to handle their money as they saw fit. My problem is Nate. Yesterday, Nate told me he had a rough idea of how he would like his possessions taken care of. Basically, he would like to split all he has 3 ways, Tina and our 2 sons. We don't have a lot, but Nate has his parents' inheritance, and he would like to give that to all his children equally. I asked him how that was fair. Tina was adopted by his parents and already received her inheritance as their daughter. If his parents gave him and his brother half and half, I would understand why he felt the need to provide Tina with something. As it is, Tina already took from his share of the inheritance. Moreover, his brother also gave her money and valuables worth more than our sons received. Tina is also a dentist. She is in no way in need of financial help. Nate said that at the end of the day, Tina is his biological daughter, and it is only right that he left her something. I don't think we need to pile more money onto a capable woman with a good job, who already has so much, while our sons are still young and just starting their careers. Am I the a-hole? Well, that's a tricky one. I can see both sides, but it may not be about Tina needing the money, but OP's husband wanting her to feel like he still loves and supports her. It sucks not having a parent or knowing your biological parents growing up. Is it unfair? Maybe. It's also unfair that Tina was not raised by her bio mom and dad. OP is focused on the money that Tina has received, but forgetting about the relationship she did not. It's symbolic. He didn't treat her like his child when he was young, so he's going to treat her as equal to his other children now he's older. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Chris82868 says, I don't know what getting an inheritance from the bio-grandparents who raised her and her uncle has to do with if she should get one from her bio-father or not. Caustic Moose says, you're the a-hole. Regardless of how well Tina does in life, how much money she may have already received, this is your husband's money to do with as he sees fit. And regardless of adoption, Tina is still his biological daughter. He may feel guilty for not being able to be her parent back when they were younger. He may just want to do something nice. It shouldn't matter to you. You've known for a very long time that Tina is his daughter. Did you really never expect him to step up for her in any way? Emotional Stay says, not the a-hole. Question, I assume if he predeceases you, you get everything? But Tina has had enough. And he should give his estate to you, and if you are dead, then equally to his 2 sons. Yes to sentimental things to Tina, but no money. My daughter's paternity has always been a question to my husband and I. Very few people know specifics. Suffice it to say, I didn't cheat. The other potential would be in jail. My 45 female, husband 48 male and I have 3 kids. Female 17, male 15, and female 8. We've been married for 25 years, had a lot of problems getting pregnant. So when I found out I was pregnant, we weren't sure about paternity. It was a literal toss-up. And ultimately we didn't care. We tried for so long, we were excited to have a baby, despite the difficult circumstances. We decided we would tell our child the full story when they were an adult, and could handle the truth, and if they wanted to further investigate, they could. Christmas last year, my mother-in-law bought my daughter a 23andMe for Christmas. My daughter wasn't really interested in it, so she gave it to me as she thought I'd enjoy it more. The last few months, our daughter has mentioned my mother-in-law acting weird toward her and mentioning things about our daughter's appearance, saying stuff like, "You really look quite different from your brother and sister," etc. A few days ago, my mother-in-law invited my husband and I to dinner and told us to leave the kids. We went to dinner where my mother-in-law handed my husband and I each an envelope. We opened them, and there was a lab report. Essentially said no probability of relation. I just looked at the report and looked at my mother-in-law and asked what this was. As soon as I said it, I just knew. She said, "It's proof you're the garbage I always knew you were." Then she said, "I'm sorry" to my husband. I just turned to my husband, and I'll never be able to forget the look on his face. He was devastated. I stood up, called her a heartless "see you next Tuesday," and many other things. Told her she had no ducking right to do that, and we left. My husband told me last night he stopped by after work at her house. She was telling my husband she's known for a while, suspected for a very long time, and that she wasn't sure how to approach the topic with him. My husband asked how she knew that. She said she overheard my brother-in-law talking to his wife and heard our daughter may not be his. My mother-in-law took that to mean that I cheated, so she did a DNA test. Last year, around the hearing, my husband got drunk around brother-in-law. Apparently that night while sleeping, belligerent, he said I couldn't protect her, and what if she's not mine? My husband was extremely drunk and did not remember doing this. My mother-in-law does not know that I was, She kept trying to convince my husband to leave me. My husband told her that what she did was unforgivable and that he is going to cut her off. My husband is inconsolable. He's so upset, he told his mother to duck off, and then told her everything. And that's who our daughter's biological father is. It still makes me sick to say that. She tried to apologize, but my husband told her he can't forgive her. Honestly, if it was me, I wouldn't talk to her or brother-in-law ever again. He played a huge role in this, and that is why he is defending her. Probably helped plan the DNA testing. I would be beyond concerned that she would share this information with OP's daughter behind her back, considering how far she has gone already to make OP's daughter question her paternity. The harm that she's already caused is unforgivable. Even if OP had cheated, if her husband agreed to claim the child, that's it. His mother had no right to interfere. OP did nothing wrong at all. And now let's see if the community agrees with my opinion. Coochie Kopi 49 says, "Not the a-hole. Your mother-in-law didn't have any right to do this, and if she felt concerned, she could have questioned your husband privately. A little advice. Talk with a therapist about how to tell your daughter this. I guarantee your mother-in-law will tell others, and it will get back to your daughter. The last thing you want is her hearing it from someone else." Novel Available 35 says, "It is illegal to DNA test someone else's child. The grandmother must have committed fraud and signed a document to say she had consent to do a DNA test, or was the parent. This point alone makes mother-in-law wrong." Forward Echedna says, "No a-hole. I'm sorry that happened to you, but all I see is a mother protecting her son. I can understand you being angry, and you should never forgive her for what she did and how she spoke to you. However, I'm not going to fault a mother who thought she was protecting her son. Frankly, if you were unsure about the paternity of the child, I'm unsure as to why you kept it, but I'm not even going to address that." My, female 45, daughter Savannah, female 26, told me yesterday she's a part of an affair with a married man, and that happens to be her friend's husband, and I don't know what to do. She told me it so nonchalantly that she is in love with this guy, male 31, and that he's going to leave his wife for her. I asked her, doesn't she feel bad for her friend? And she told me no, that her friend, female 28, only cares about their new baby and doesn't have time to be a good wife to him since she hasn't kept up her looks. So it's her fault. I tried to press her and tried to have her see how this is absolutely wrong, and she doesn't consider it wrong whatsoever. I love my daughter to absolute pieces, but the path she has been on is scaring me. This honestly is not the first time she has done this. She has done this to a couple of her friends from college, and now she's doing it to another friend. Every time I try to hold her accountable, she would just stop speaking to me and not let me see my granddaughter. I just feel so lost and conflicted as a mom that my daughter feels no remorse for ripping a family apart. She was always boy crazy as a teen, but I never thought it would escalate to this. She's an only child, and I always tried my best to do good by her. Her father is also a drunk, and we have no idea where he is at. I guess this is a cry for help from me. I feel absolutely sick just typing this out. So I'm looking for help on how I can handle this situation. I'm really having trouble with this. I don't think OP's daughter will listen to OP. She is the kind of person who is going to do what they want, with little, if any, regard for the impact it has on others. She has been a piece of crap in college, continues to be a piece of crap now, and will probably remain one until karma finally bites her in the butt and teaches her a hard lesson. And unfortunately, there's not one thing OP can do to help, because she doesn't even see that she is a problem. She is a sociopath. Her lack of empathy is actually scary. OP has already tried to set her straight, but this is who she is. OP needs to let her make her bed and lay in it. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Moss Valley says, being boy crazy is different than being an immoral, horrible person. The fact that she has no empathy for her friend is scary. If she thinks this guy won't cheat on her also, she is insanely naive as well. You should do a few Google searches to show her the facts. Only 5 to 6% of affairs lead to marriage. Of those marriages, 75% end in divorce. If this guy is willing to cheat on the mother of his child, then he will not make a good partner. Appeal to her selfish interests, as clearly caring about morals and empathy will not sway her. Electronic Seat says, what saddens me the most is that you mentioned she has a child, yet she is justifying this man leaving his wife because she mainly focuses on their child. So she believes that this man should take priority over her own child, and most likely will encourage him to have little to no contact with his child. She is sacrificing a marriage, a friendship, and 2 children. You probably would be better cutting your losses. It is sad, but true. She is not a good human being. Update. I thought I got through to Savannah, and she told me she would stop seeing Stan and will eventually tell Elizabeth the truth. I stupidly believed her because she stopped talking about Stan, and she told me she was seeing someone else. Well, until yesterday afternoon. Savannah came over to drop off my granddaughter because she was going on vacation. I didn't know who she was going with, but when she dropped off my granddaughter, I peeked outside of my door, and she waved bye to me. But I noticed she was in Elizabeth's car, and I thought that was odd, given I thought she told Elizabeth everything, and I looked really closely, and Stan was in the driver's seat, and my stomach dropped. I just went inside and closed the door with my granddaughter in shock, and I was just extremely devastated that my daughter doesn't simply care about what the hell she's doing. Yesterday night I couldn't sleep. I went on Facebook and was on Elizabeth's page, and the more I looked at it, the worse I started to feel. Because just the day before, Elizabeth made a very heartfelt birthday post to Stan, and I look in the comments. There's my daughter Savannah, commenting, "OMG, I love you guys so much." That was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I debated to message her on there, but I just felt like it would be cowardly on my end to do that, and that she deserves a face-to-face. Elizabeth is a yoga instructor, so I went to her class this morning. I waited until after everyone left for us to talk, and I just told her everything. She initially didn't want to believe me, until I showed her texts from my daughter, and then we compared our Find a Friend on our iPhones, and wouldn't you know it, they were in the exact spot. She of course broke down and was shaking immensely. I tried my best to comfort her, and we talked for well over 3 hours. She told me everything makes so much sense, and that she wasn't going crazy. I just felt extremely terrible for her the whole time. By the end of our conversation, she told me not to tell anyone we had this conversation, and I'm honestly still confused by that, because she didn't vocalize that she was leaving him or staying with him. So I'm not sure what she will do, so who knows. She might go mask off and expose everything, or quietly file for a divorce. So now I'm at home, hoping and praying I did the right thing. My biggest fear is that my daughter will find out I ratted on her, and then not let me see my granddaughter anymore. But I can no longer allow my daughter to go through life without being checked for her actions, because this isn't the first time she has done this. My older sister, Viv, 33 female, and I, 28 female, had babies 3 days apart. My niece was born in October, and my son was born in November. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks prior to my son's birth because of complications related to my pregnancy. Viv and I are not close. She annoys the ever-loving crap out of me most of the time. My younger sister Darcy, 26 female, and I are super close though. But Viv and Darcy are not close. So according to Viv, she announced her daughter's name was Agnes Kathleen and had most people give her very generic comments on the name. She said Darcy didn't say anything at all when she went with our parents to see the baby. I didn't get to meet my niece until everyone came to meet my son, because I couldn't leave the hospital. When we announced our son's name was Cove, we did get some compliments on the name. Darcy and my dad loved the name, and were cooing over it being super nice but different, to quote Darcy. We told our families first when they visited, and once they all knew, my husband announced it on social media. That's where Viv seems to have been really set off, because a few days after I got home from the hospital, Viv called to complain that I got more enthusiasm for my son's name than she did for her daughter's. She asked why I had to give my son a weird name, and told me it was dumb. I told her I didn't have the energy to deal with her. My husband also got a text from my sister. He went through all the social media comments, and most of them were, "Love the name, sweet name, and congrats." It's not like people were tripping over themselves saying we chose the best name ever. He couldn't find her post, so he assumed she deleted it. But he told me he wasn't sure what got her so bent out of shape. In the last month, it has been crazy how much of a grudge Viv holds against me. She went on to blame me for Darcy and Dad liking my son's name more and for getting a better response online. She was pretty furious with me, actually, and a few days ago, I told her she can't be mad at me for other people's reactions, and I pointed out that it's very much what she's doing. She told me I should be more understanding and duck me, etc. It's exhausting, and saying that to her only set her off more on me. I just don't have the energy for this. But now I wonder if I shouldn't have said that to her. Am I the a-hole? I think neither name is bad. They're just different themes, classic versus modern, and it appears OP's family likes modern names. But you can't control other people's reactions to the baby's names. Viv needs to deal with her disappointment instead of blaming OP. After all, she's the one who named her kid Agnes. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Royally Okie says, "Not the a-hole. What a ridiculous thing to be upset about. Your sister needs to focus on actual parenting." Rachel Madabstum says, "I mean, Cove and Agnes are both horrid names." Ad Accomplished says, "Everyone sucks here. Your sister is being unreasonable, and you named your child Cove? I mean, what the duck?"